Anda sedang menonton Personality Malaysia Memilih bersama saya Ibrahim Sani. Hari ini saya di Parlimen dan ingin menemu ramah seorang ahli parlimen daripada Sarawak, iaitu ahli parlimen Julau, Larry Sng. YB Larry bertanding di bawah tiket bebas pada PRU 14 dan kini telah pun memasuki parti PKR. Saya ingin menanyakan kepada beliau bagaimana beliau bertanding dan menang sebagai seorang ahli parlimen bebas pada PRU 14. Saksikan wawancara ini. Larry Sng merupakan bekas Presiden Sarawak Workers' Party. Pada PRU 14, beliau telah bertanding di kerusi Julau dan telah menang mengejut mengalahkan calon Barisan Nasional dan juga merupakan Parti Rakyat Sarawak Secretary General iaitu Joseph Salang. Joseph Salang yang juga merupakan bekas Menteri Luar telah berjaya bertahan di kerusi Julau selama 4 penggal. Ayah Larry Sng, Sng Chi Hua, merupakan bekas MP ataupun ahli parlimen Julau pada tahun 1995 hingga 1999. Sebelum PRU 14, PKR telah menyatakan bahawa mereka akan memberi laluan kepada Larry untuk bertanding di kerusi Julau pada PRU 14. Sebelum ini, Larry telah pun bertanding di PRU 13 tetapi telah kalah di kerusi Julau. Keluarga beliau berasal dari Kapit dan seperti mana keluarga Tionghoa di pedalaman Sarawak, mereka fasih bahasa Iban. Kedua-dua, YB Larry dan juga ayahnya merupakan bekas adun pelagus bagi Don Sarawak. YB Larry menuntut pelajaran di London School of Economics dan merupakan bekas penolong menteri kepada pejabat Ketua Menteri Sarawak. Saya tanya kepada YB Larry apakah agenda yang beliau akan ketengahkan di dalam Dewan Rakyat nanti.
As a politician, I've been in politics for the last 17 odd years, and I used to represent my constituency, which is mainly a Dayak-based constituency in a place called Kapit. And the majority of the constituents are Bumiputra, 90%. And I enjoy working with the people. I love the people. I love visiting them, getting to know their issues and solving their problems. So that is why my focus is. And I believe that in Malaysia, there's a lot to do in terms of development, in terms of addressing issues, correcting past wrongs and reforming, So for myself, that is my agenda.
The remarkable thing that you pulled off in this general elections was that you're one of the few independent candidates that actually won a parliamentary seat. How did you pull that off?
I think it's very important for coalition building. Coalition building among all the different minority groups, among people who are disenfranchised by the previous government. Because in the previous government there were a lot of ada banyak isu yang tidak berapa selesai, ada yang projek yang dibuat tidak berapa betul, kes rasuah pun ada, kes kroni pun ada. So I think for the people as a whole, the majority of the Malaysian people, they want a fair government and they want a representative who can represent them in a fair way, bagi projek yang berbelah, kepada semua. So I think for my track record, being a former adun for 2 terms and also being assistant minister and also representing an area that was formerly represented by my family, so I think there's the credibility whereby people give me the trust to stand and also to win.
All right, let's talk about your family and the background that you have in the state of Sarawak. Could you share a little bit about your family?
My family, I'm a 3rd generation politician. My grandfather was a former MP, adun, councillor, and also my father as well. So we represented mainly Dayak-based constituencies in areas of Sarawak. We speak the language, we mix with the people, and this relationship has been going on for a long time, even before independence, sebelum merdeka, So I think for ourselves, we are fully committed to the people of Sarawak, and especially the Dayak community.
Let's talk a little bit about the next progression in your political career.
Okay. I believe in Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim. He is my mentor. We have known him for a long time. Even I think our family's relationship is over 20 over years. And I believe his struggle, reformation, reformasi. And previously, I think the reason why I stood as an independent and not as a PKR candidate was because, as I mentioned earlier, we wanted to build coalition, coalition building among people who may not necessarily follow with the ideals of PKR, but support an opposition candidate who is able to defeat the BN candidate. So once that is done, once the government is formed, we join PKR and people accept. And then today we have lots of members in PKR, lots of new members joining PKR in my constituency because they believe that this is the best platform for them now. Saja. So ada banyak calon-calon parti yang saya belum berkenal. So dalam masa ini saya nak berjumpa dengan semua calon-calon dan tapi saya ada seseorang calon saya bersetuju dan saya nak sokong 100%. Itulah YB Nurulisa. Kerana saya tengok cara dia handle ke isu-isu. I think she's very not only is she very considerate of the issues at hand, but I also find that she's a very sincere person in how she actually approached the situation, approached the people, and I'm won over, So definitely, I'll give my support to her. And I'm also looking at other candidates who will also be able to fit into that description, who have the heart and who has the intention to really put their efforts into solving people's issues.
Does this mean that you're still undecided on supporting either Rafizi or Azmin and their colleagues?
I think to be fair, because they are most of the colleagues I have not met, and I think I need to have time to meet them to understand where they stand on particular issues in relation to Sarawak as well, But of course, because PKR is a national-based party, we have to look at the interests of Malaysia first. Malaysia, all over Malaysia, from Perlis to Johor, Sarawak and Sabah. I think these are the issues that we have to look at, particularly in terms of rural development, in terms of urban development, in terms of how we can actually increase our GDP and per capita. And I think both of the candidates, or all the candidates inside each respective region who are contesting will have certain issues and will have certain aspirations and also focus. So for myself, from a rural constituency in Sarawak, I would like to actually meet them to understand where they stand. But maybe this whole thing about this hyped up issue of party division, I think is also partly due to the media, with due respect. I think the party members, large majority like myself, we are loyal to the president, loyal to Dato' Sri Anwar Ibrahim. And of course, we want to see the next echelon of leaders, who is able to unify the country, who is able to represent not just PKR, but represent at the national level, potentially as a DPM or minister, So I think this is very important. What we are doing now, we are the biggest party, the biggest bloc in Pakatan Harapan. We are going to have the future Prime Minister from our party. And of course, whoever comes out from our party in future will also lead the nation. And it has to lead the nation not just to represent one particular race, but all Malaysians, including those in Sabah and Sarawak. And I think that's what we want. We want a leader who has the vision, who is able to deliver on his promise, and to be inclusive. I think that's very important. That's what PKR should represent and should look in terms of its next echelon of leaders, this party election.
The presence of PKR in Sarawak is still in its infancy stages, reflected by the number of aduns that you have in the state and some of the MPs that represent the state of Sarawak. Are there any plans to go big in Sarawak with PKR?
I think PKR is doing very well in terms of its expansion, in terms of winnability. If you look at it previously, I think we only had one MP in Parliament in the last GE, but currently we have a total of 6. So I think that is a good leap, and I believe that in the coming state election, in a couple of years' time from now, we will be doing better in terms of representation, because not only that the PKR is now formally the government of the day, but I think in terms of rolling out the policy, rolling out the reformation policies that will benefit not just Malaysia as a whole, but Sarawak in particular, I think we are going to be able to convince many voters to join our struggle, you know. And I know for a fact, from the Ministry of Rural Development, there will be special emphasis in terms of development projects for Sarawak in particular, because we're still catching up, you know, in terms of development in relation to the rest of the country. Yeah.
Sekian saja hasil wawancara pada minggu ini. Jika anda ingin menonton episod seperti ini lagi, sila layari astroawani.com dan cari Personality Malaysia Memilih. Saya Ibrahim Sani, sekian, terima kasih.